In my experience over my business career of 25 years, now doing business in places around the world, I become concerned that what I thought about America, that we were light years ahead of everyone else, is not actually true. And that increasingly other nations are getting closer and closer to us. Their schools are better. Their innovative skills are becoming more and more remarkable. Their capability in productivity is astounding in many respects. And that unless America gets serious about the challenges we face, we could find ourselves falling behind. Now, at the same time, I'm looking at a competition of global competitors, if you will, for the leadership of the 21st century. When I grew up, there was a global competition between us and the Soviet Union. And I remember Nikita Khrushchev, the head of the Soviet Union, taking off his shoe, pounding it at the United Nations, saying, "We will bury you." It was us against them. In elementary school, kids were taught to climb under their desk. We didn't do fire drills, we did bomb drills. This was in case of a nuclear attack. Mind you, I don't know what a desk would do in the case of a nuclear attack, but that's what we did. And we won that competition, and they lost. And I had presumed that following the Cold War's end, that the nations of the world recognized that our model was the model that was the model of success and the model of the future for every country in the world, almost, in its own shape and form, depending upon the culture of each nation. What's happened in the ensuing couple of decades, however, is a competitive array that is far more significant than what I'd expected. We now have, at least in my view, 4 major competitors that are vying for leadership in the 21st century and beyond. Our strategy is one of those, and I say ours, I'm referring to the West collectively. It has 2 fundamental principles, and that is first, economic freedom, and secondly, political freedom or personal freedom. That strategy has led us to be the most powerful nation on earth. Then there's China. China has embraced, to a great degree, economic freedom. They practice capitalism, frankly, in some ways that are even more Wild West than we do. But they have married that with authoritarian rule, and they believe their strategy will win, and they're selling it to dictatorships around the world, saying, give up on communism, socialism, embrace free enterprise, and marry that with authoritarian rule, and that's the model for the future. Because those democracies make short-term decisions that are in short-term best interests of people and will long-term spell their doom. Then you have a third strategy represented by Russia. Their strategy also, like China's, is based on authoritarian rule, but they combine that with their energy strategy. They have a lot of energy, more natural gas than anyone in the world, as much coal as anyone else in the world. They're tied with us. Massive resources in oil. They sold more energy last year than Saudi Arabia. They're using the hundreds of billions they're generating in selling natural resources to rebuild their military and to become an economic powerhouse. And the fourth strategy is really not represented by any one country. It's more of a movement across borders. Perhaps Iran represents this strategy. It's radical, violent jihadism. And their strategy is very simple. Authoritarian rule, but based upon the collapse of the other 3, they intend to unleash the hidden imam or the caliphate and ultimately rule the world. Now, I see that competition going on and recognize that of all those strategies, only one includes freedom, personal freedom, political freedom, ours. Only if America remains strong and the successful strategy, if you will, of the 21st century, can we guarantee that our kids and theirs will have a land that's free and a world that's peaceful and free. And so I believe it's essential for America to remain strong. And therefore, as I look at what's happening in the world and I look at our challenges as a nation, I become concerned that we are so complacent and unwilling to deal with our challenges directly and honestly that we're watching as America is becoming weaker.